Excellent, thank you. It's great to meet you, Alberto. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, enjoying Mexico. How are you doing?
I bet I'm great. It's good to be chatting with you. You've made a really atmospheric and well-contained horror movie, so congratulations on Baghead.
Thank you.
And this is your first feature-length film, and I'm wondering, as a first-time director, how did you manage to get an incredible caliber of talent like Peter Mullen and Ned Dennehy into your film?
Well, it's sometimes it's a matter of being at the right place at the right time, and I think it's one of these cases. Obviously, it helps a lot when you have someone like the picture company, Andrew Rona and Alex Heineman, or you have Studio Canal behind you throwing their weight into it because they have created already this relationship with the different actors. But mainly it's like, to give you an example, with Peter Mulan, when we were looking for our Owen, to cast Owen, and we were looking at the different options. One day, out of the blue, one of the producers came and told me, "What do you think about Peter Mulan?" And I was like, "Who did you just say? Peter Mulan? The Peter Mulan?" And they say, "Yeah. He's available and willing." I say, "Okay, what do I need to do? I want to jump on a Zoom call right now and talk to him." I think it helped to have a strong short that people could watch at the same time as they were reading the script. Because when you have already a reference that what you are going to aim for, and you can see it, and you can see already that someone can do something with that story and that the script is not bad, then it facilitates things quite a bit.
Yeah, you were really lucky to get them on board because they both add so much extra weight to
Oh,
the
yeah.
story, which was great. And Freya Allen is fantastic. What a great get! She was awesome in I think The Witcher. She's in the upcoming Planet of the Apes, so she's really going somewhere. So, what drew you to her? She's a fantastic actress.
Well, the reality is when we were writing the story for Baghead, the Iris was a bit older than Freya is. But again, through this relationship with the Studio Canal, because she had shot already a movie with them with the picture company called Gunpowder Milkshake. So
Hmm.
she was eager to work again with the studio. So when the studio told us she would be available, and I was a fan of The Witch and I have seen her and so on, I thought, yeah, definitely. She's got a lot of talent. She's going places. So we jump on a chat on Zoom. We were discussing the story and so on. And then we decided, yeah, why not? We started changing the story a little bit, not much, but a little bit to adapt it and to make it more for kind of who Freya is to this forced young woman trying to find a foothold in life. So it was again through the relationship that you have created in the studio with these kind of actors.
Yeah, right. And you mentioned that it's adapted from a short film that you made in I think, 2016. I'm wondering though, where does the story come from? Because if it's a folklore, I've never heard of it. Is it an original concept? Where's it from?
No, it's an original concept from Lorcan Rayleigh. He's the writer of the short film. At the time, he was living in London, and I was trying to put together something to shoot a low budget horror movie. But when I met Lorcan and I read the story, the short film for Baghead, I realized this is golden. And this is something that really has an iconic character and that talk about grief and for all that subverts all the expectations because you would think you go to talk to a dead loved one and you get to get closure, but in the short it wasn't like that. It completely flips the whole story on its head. So it started there. For me, it was reading the story and seeing, okay, I can apply my visuals to this witch to create a good concept for her and something that we can present as a proof of concept, as a business card to show later when we were trying through the festival run to find the partners that we end up finally finding.
Excellent. What I loved the most about the story itself was that short 2 minute period of grace that the characters get with their loved ones. I felt like that was a really effective way to turn the horror on and off and keep the suspense going. But was there any discussion in the development on how long that time should be? Were the producers nervous about being 2 minutes? Did they want to jump into the horror quicker?
I was so surprised. I was very surprised that everyone was really adamant to keep it. because for us, that what made the shot really work that well. And for the feature, it was a very important component in the mythology because giving 2 minutes is that kind of sweet spot. You can still talk to someone. You can make, obviously, it's not always 2 minutes. We're talking about cinema. You go a little bit here and there, but it's the right amount of time that you have something sensible to say, but you cannot say everything that you want to say. So it creates kind of an addiction, a dependency. You have unfinished business all the time, so you feel like you have to go downstairs again and do it again, like we have in the case of Neil, because obviously the witch is at some point after this 2 minute mark, she start playing her games and getting into your head. And that is one of the important components. So in a nutshell, it was, everyone thought that the 2 minute rule, it was kind of core to our story.
Absolutely, and it did add to the effectiveness of, like I said, turning the horror on and off. Like, it really catches you off guard at times. But as a horror fan myself, I can watch movies and tell when the filmmaker is also a horror fan, and clearly you love horror. Were there any movies or things that you leaned into as a fan, as inspiration when coming up with this dark little universe you've created?
Yes, I always say that visually, I take a lot from Japanese horror movies. Is kind of my cup of tea in terms of visuals. In terms of horrors, I'm a fan. I couldn't just pinpoint one of them. Bring Me to Hell is kind of one that oddly I always see had that similar feeling in this extent, because it happens in the house. It's really weird what is going on. It's only with one young woman going through this kind of trouble, and I think is one that you can see a little bit also in Baghead. But in general, I think is more its own thing, and it has things from other movies. From which one, I don't know. I guess that you are the people who start dissecting them. I cannot really do that with my own movie because it's too painful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it is difficult to pinpoint any. That's why I asked whether, there were some things there that influenced you. But is horror a genre that you would like to stick with and be known for? Do you have any plans for a next film?
At the moment, it's always a good question because, yeah, I think I want to stick to horror for a little bit because I think I made my first feature, and I can see as a filmmaker, when you finish it, you are watching it and you say, oh God, I made a mistake here and here. It could be so much better here on this part. So I think I owe it to myself to do a second one where it's horror, and that when I can put into action everything that I think I have learned. In the future, I don't rule out anything. You probably won't see me directing rom-coms. It's not my cup of tea. But I want to stay into horror, science fiction, thriller. That's really what is my interest. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it. But thank you for the chat. Baghead might be a new film, but it feels very classic, and really enjoyed it. And it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
My dad, he died.
I'm the solicitor of your father's estate.
My dad owned this place. I don't have any memories with him. This is all I have right now.
If you're watching this, then I'm already dead. This property comes with a special tenant. You're the one thing that stands between her and the outside world.
You're joking.
What is that? Come out, wherever you are.
Iris. We shouldn't be here.
What is she?
She has the power to bring back the dead. I want to see her. Money's really no object. I want to talk to my wife. She only gives you 2 minutes. Sarah. After that, she's in control.
going on?
We are not safe here.
How do I control her?
This isn't something you can control.
I'm going to kill you.
You can't kill her.